the regularly scheduled Board of Finance meeting for June 7th to order, please. Judy, we got to do a whole new roll call with a whole new cast.
Yep. Neil Butnick,
Here.
Judy Neville, Tom Schulte,
Here.
Amy Carroll is missing, absent. Todd Lavieri,
Still here.
Michael Chin he is not.
Here.
Right.
He's on the phone.
Oh, is he?
He's on. Michael's on.
I don't see you. Oh,
Hi, Judy.
I'm sorry. Okay, hon. Chris LeBrie, Victor Alvarez, Maria Weingarten, Bob Hamill,
Here.
and Colin Dobbins.
Here.
So we need to seat Colin Dobbins.
Just for Amy.
Amy, for Amy,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A motion to seat. Colin?
So moved.
All right. Second.
Second.
On favor? Aye.
Our
Opposed?
first selectman, Kevin Monahan, is here too.
Okay. So moved. We need the members to sign the tax warrant, and I can't read anybody's writing, but my own. So I see Tom, I see Neil, and I see Colin. Did you sign it?
No.
Okay, you need to sign it,
I need
and Chris
second.
is at top. Okay, and so maybe get Victor.
Yeah.
No alternates. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Signed it.
So while you're passing that, a motion to approve the minutes from the May 10th meeting, please.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Neil Budnick, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, thanks. Okay, before the first selectman, so it's very sad to have these comments, but Neil Budnick has decided to finish up the fiscal year and move on. And as of July 1, roll off of the Board of Finance. I'm in denial, so I'm pretending that's not really happening. But Neil, I don't even know where to start in terms of thanking you. I don't remember how many years you've been a member. I think it's 13 or 14, but it
was
15
Almost.
pre-crash. Wow, right? That's pre-crash, right? But I'd like to make a few comments, and then I'd like to invite anyone else that would like to make a few comments as well. But Neil, you are a phenomenal counselor, partner, sounding board, and thinker. You've added so much value to this board on all of the things you've done, on anything you've done. And you always raise your hand, and you're always willing to help, and you're always willing to go the extra mile. Town pensions are overfunded, and there's a lot of guidance there from the committee, yourself included, of course. A lot of the things that have happened here over 15 years, you've really been instrumental and helpful. And I don't know that everyone appreciates all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes with every member, and many of you do the same things. But Neil is he's always there, always able to answer a question, pitch in, help. Do they make members like that anymore? We'll have a hard time replacing you because you did so much for this committee over so many years. So I want to just thank you. Thank you. And appreciate it so much. So I'd like to, and maybe just, and anyone like to raise their hand and make any comments, I welcome them.
I'll
Judy.
add to that. I brought Neil in, and so I.
And he stayed.
Yes, and he stayed. So he's been a right hand for a long time, and all his contributions, it's the library subcommittee. He has shared the government subcommittee with me for I don't even know how many years. We've just gone back. There isn't a whole lot we don't know about each other, but that's the way it works over so many years. And I'm trying not to get emotional, but I will say to everything, there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And I think this is your time. I wish you well.
I feel like they should be rolling in the casket.
All right.
It's a second, it's a
Next chapter.
Yeah,
chapter.
I gotta say, Neil, I joined 8 years ago, and I didn't really fully appreciate at that time what it was that this board asked of me. And I really didn't know what it was.
Surprise.
Right. And you don't, you're kind of looking around for, a little bit of guide, can I take some of that and incorporate that into how I might conduct myself? And I have to say, I often looked to you from the dais and thought, there's a clear thinker. There's someone who has the best interests of the town at heart. And I have to say, we're going to miss you.
Sure. Chris?
Oh, forever.
I'm thinking back on my days as on the library board, during the dark times of the Long-Term Planning Commission. And when Neil, showed up as our liaison for the first time. And, so much work was done, between the library and with Neil's help to get the library back focused on what it wanted to do, what it needed to do. And move forward, with the new library plans. It had gotten a bit lost. And so, and then subsequently, we find ourselves as both the liaisons to library and seeing coming to an end this building project. It's been a wonderful experience for me. And I think we've become friends in the process. And so that's a real treat.
Thank you for that. Victor? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that after serving on the Board of Finance for now a year and a half almost, I can totally appreciate all of the hours that all of us put in, including you, Neil, and all of the good work and all of the desire to just help the town. And I see that in you, Neil, and I respect that so much. And I would just like to be so bold as to just do a little round of applause.
Thank you. You guys are my friends and my academic peers, which is what's so much fun about this committee. We really are supportive and academic in terms of studying things. I think we minimize politics and pretty much come to some great decisions, which, for town government to be independently viewed is a great thing. So I had a great time. Did I overstay my welcome? 15 years. Maybe,
I'd just like to say,
Yes, sir.
so having been in town government now for, I guess, 9 years, self-government, local government is messy and challenging. And I supported the notion of not having the first selectman be the chairman of the Board of Finance when it was proposed with the charter revision. And it was a good thing to do. And but I want to say how important it is for a first selectman to have the advice of members of the Board of Finance. And I really value your advice all along the way, and I respect you so enormously. So thank you.
Thank you. It's very nice.
All right. Well, thanks very much. I don't know, Michael or Bob, you want to add any more, but otherwise we
Oh,
can,
no.
yeah, there's more.
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I've been on the committees with Neil to the retirement pension committee. I've talked to him about a lot of finance. Like, I think he's a kindred spirit because we both came from the financial services world. We both understand how leverage, return on investment, all that works. And, we had some great discussions and some great debates, and we don't always see eye to eye on everything, but I admire him. He's a person that always cares about the town. He wants to do the right thing. And so, Neil, I just could say it's been an honor working with you and having these healthy discussions with you. And it's never been about, what political position you are. It's always about what's the right answer for the town. And so I echo everyone's sentiment that I don't view anybody. And as you know, I'm unaffiliated, so I'm honored to work with Republicans and Democrats and coming up with the right answer for this town. And Neil also, I see him the same way. So Neil, I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, it's nice. It's funny, no one mentioned good looks.
Well, we're going to say Bob for that. Bob was going to chime in, but now you kind of stole his thunder.
You're looking reul good. No, huge shoes to fill. Kevin, you better do your homework and find somebody. It's going to be tough.
Yep, that's going to be a tough call. Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you, Neil.
Thank you, everyone.
Now George does help out from time to time, just so you know, and he just saying, just from a competitive benchmarking point of view that, George does, we reach out to George gives us input. George has thoughts. George didn't really run away. I just want to, I'm saying, there's just, as you're thinking about your, going forward role. Okay. First selectman.
You're going to do your minutes first?
I did them.
Yeah, we did them.
We're moving quick. You gotta, yeah.
Boom, boom,
All
boom.
right. Briefly, I only have a few things to talk about. Always, COVID is still with us. The health director told me yesterday that the cases are down last week from the spike in May, which is good. And we still plan to do testing in Berlin 3 times a week. And the vaccination and booster clinics are very important. And I guess the FDA is expected to approve the vaccination for under age 5 children very soon. And I would advise the public, as I said at the Board of Selectmen meeting this morning, to consult your medical provider for advice on vaccinating very young children. Capital projects, just briefly, the town hall, CHP, as I mentioned last month, is now fully completed, but not operational. Soon to be operational. We converted over, we continue to convert over all the town buildings that are adjacent to the gas line. And we also have signed PPAs for the, we're working on PPAs for the high school solar and the solar at the high school for Dunning Field. So paving projects are to start soon. People will start seeing a lot of progress downtown. And at the same time, Eversource Gas will start next week with Burns excavating Elm Street for the pipeline and Grove and Pine. So you'll be seeing that work as well. They're going to do it at night though on Elm Street to accommodate Stewart's Market and other activities there. We signed a contract for the Dunning Lights, which is exciting. And to say, oh, we got some good news from Eversource. We really get good news from Eversource about they think they can bring gas into Waverly Park, not only for Lapham Center as we've been working on, but also for the pool and the paddle courts and hopefully Waveney House, which we didn't expect.
Well, that'd be great.
Great, so that's all good. Ponus Ridge Cell Tower, as I mentioned, Public Safety Tower. There will be a hearing on Zoom on June 28th with the Connecticut Siting Council. That's moving forward. The PD Building Committee will meet on Thursday to view. We have some exciting new plans with what they call the town hall option, taking off the back of the building and rebuilding it. And so they're probably going to be in a position to come in July to move forward on that plan.
Which building was this?
Hmm?
Which building, Kevin?
Police Department.
Oh, police department.
Police Department. So also this morning, the Board of Selectmen approved the 8J Affordable Housing Plan. But as I didn't share with you, I issued a statement this morning. I'll briefly tell you about it. Last week we discovered, after a lot of back and forth, actually, Attorney Hollister was one of the people that commented on our draft moratorium application that we were not taking deductions for units that were demolished. We went back and forth with the State Department of Housing, and it turns out we don't qualify for the moratorium that we thought we qualified. Well, right now we will qualify when the 40 additional units are completed at Canaan Parish.
Okay.
That came as a
Good.
surprise, but it's new news and disappointing, but that's the state sort of changed the rules on us.
How did that happen? Because we.
It really
followed-
started with an appeal that Attorney Hollister took to Westport's Affordable Housing Moratorium and litigated that, and so the state now regards demolished units to be a subtraction from what you previously had.
Really? Huh.
It seems to be since New Canaan and Westport are the only towns that have that strategy. It's unfair to towns like ours, but when you have obsolete units, it really shouldn't be counted for something you're taking away. We've done a great job with Millport and Canaan Parish to build unbelievably nice affordable housing that replaces units that really were obsolete. So anyway, that's that.
How long is it will take for the 40 units?
It's scheduled to be completed by November. Great. And as long as they get a CO by November, we'll be able to file the application then. Planning for the Board of Ed move to 220 Elm is underway. We'll meet with the superintendent in a couple of weeks to move that forward. We are planning, I may have mentioned this before, we're planning to rent 39 locusts for the police department. We will bring a lease to the Board of Selectmen for that by the end of the month. The library construction loan agreement, thanks to Chris and Tom Schulte, is, I'd say, almost done.
Yeah.
To bring to back to this board for approval in July. And the Playhouse is under agenda tonight. This morning, the Board of Selectmen in executive session updated.
Can you talk about executive?
I'm just on.
No, it was.
Updated the negotiations with the prospective operator and movement toward a lease and an LOI. We did not approve an LOI. We will take that up after the town council action next week, so that we can get on with that transaction, hopefully. But we also, Board of Selectmen recommends that you switch the order of ARPA funds and bonding to reduce the ARPA funds from $1 million to $600,000 and to increase the bonding from $600,000 to to $1 million. The thought there being that once we put all this money into this building, we're not going to have any capital requirements for the first 10 years, probably going into the second 10 years. And it doesn't make sense to build up a big capital reserve. So it makes more sense to be paying off bonds and building up the capital reserve toward the end of the 20-year period.
Just to make sure I'm clear, so you're suggesting though that we reduce the $1 million from ARPA for the Playhouse to 600 to free up $400,000 back to ARPA
That too.
to give money back to more programs that
We have
want.
we have more demands. On
Yeah, yeah, okay, all right, no, that I get that.
And on that subject, we'll be back to you after after the June 28th meeting. We'll come back to you and then town council with another round of ARPA recommendations, including the community
Okay.
foundations, which is expected to be in the order of $500,000. And finally, as you I think you saw the news today, we were very happy to name Russ Kimes as our full-time emergency management director. And I'm thrilled because when you see the kinds of threats the towns face, it's very, very important that we make New Canaan a town of choice, not only for good schools, but also for safety. And there's so much a full-time emergency management director can do to make sure we're doing drills, we're keeping plans up, and we're prepared for any kind of threat. So, thank you.
It's just a question, Kevin. So if we increase the debt, if we don't need to build up the capital reserve for deferred maintenance, can we use the money that's in that the Playhouse account then to service the debt?
We could, like the enterprise for the pool, which just got paid off their bonds, if we wanted to
Okay.
dedicate that.
So we could certainly use it to pay debt service.
Yes.
On that portion of the bonds. Okay. All right.
Or more or less.
Have we outlined the enterprise fund?
Sorry.
Have we outlined the enterprise fund? Like we did the
Well, the
pool?
Playhouse
I
is
mean,
al- Playhouse is already a separate, Ann's not here tonight. The Playhouse has always been treated as an enterprise fund. All the money in that has always been.
But I thought we were gonna, have a laundry list of what that entails. We did a lot of review on this, on the pool. I thought it would be similar.
I'm not sure what that means, Judy, but I'd be happy to implement anything to support the enterprise nature of the
Yeah, well.
Playhouse. The taxpayers have never subsidized that operation.
No, they haven't.
people have the
That's right.
impression.
Yeah.
That we have never subsidized the Playhouse. So,
Okay, anything else? Okay. You're good? Okay.
yes.
Okay, so let's go on to next update from Ann and Josh. Hi, Ann and Josh.
Hey. Let's see.
From somewhere.
I'm just going to share my screen. 1 second. Let's see.
Where is he? Okay, well, that's readable.
Yeah.
It's
well, I
good.
don't know We're gonna see much. of
Good.
that.
Oh, Lord.
You might want
Is it on?
to, yeah,
Okay.
I want to net that out too.
Go to your tablets.
Well, we
Here,
could-
go to your tablets.
Is that small or is that readable?
It's not readable. It's okay. Walk us through, we read the headline news on expenses, revenues, and obviously the big question now, it's almost the end of the year. Where are we on your projections as it relates to using the 5 million that we had budgeted?
Sure. So this, of course, is as of May 31st of 2022. And things are kind of still trending in the same way that we've been expecting. Overall revenues are at 101%, which is about 1.5 million over what was budgeted. And just to keep that in perspective, it's 425,000 up from last month, just so you're seeing kind of the trend month over month. Tax collection is flat from last year at last month at still at 101%. Building permits have made their way to 125%, which is 200,000 over what was budgeted, and 140,000 over last year. Conveyance fees are at 180% of what was budgeted, which is almost 900,000, but it's still about 425,000 behind what we were seeing last year. Parking is still trending down, as we've seen. Tipping is kind of right gonna hit on the mark. And as we discussed last month, the BOE excess cost is going to be coming in over the next few weeks. So we should see that hit 100% also. So I think kind of on the revenue side of things, our projections are still trending towards that 2-ish million. Maybe if we're saying 2.25, we'll see how much there is still left in a month, I suppose. And on the expense side of things, right now we're at about 79% of total expenses that were budgeted. And we, still according to our projections, we're still assuming that we're going to hit that 100% mark by the time we get everything paid, past year end.
Is that running a little lighter though than usual?
So it is running lighter than last year. Last year at this point was about 86%.
Yeah, that's not a little.
So it's not a little, but it's, I think Anne can probably speak to it a little more. She's kind of looked into some of the projections for this. There are some over budget accounts that need to be transferred, and just kind of money moved between things to get it to that 100% that we're kind of assuming.
Yeah, and on top of that, Todd, you may not know, we lost our accountant, retired in April. So we're probably about 2 weeks behind booking some of the stuff because everybody's pitching in to try and get all those entries in, because that's the position that books all those types of entries. So when I looked at these numbers, we do have a payroll to book that would normally be in here. We are up to date on medical. So it says 32 million here, 32.9. We have about, I'd say $1 million plus in what we call the encumbrances of stuff we know we have to pay to take it down to about 31.6. We have contractually, I'll say, from payroll, both medicals for Board of Ed and town, debt service, and some insurance liabilities we have $30.6 million still to pay out, that we know we will be paying out. So that leaves about $1 million left, which now we're going through all those, like I said, those accounts that have been somewhat short, whether payroll, because that's going to go short regardless, and also trying to finish up through the end of the year with all the utilities, because they are just skyrocketing for us right now. So probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll have a better gauge to see if we'll have any savings versus breaking even.
Okay.
So that's where right now I'm saying I have that $1 million I've got to look at to say, how do I get that to make sure I cover every deficit and what the utilities are. And as you know, we don't just end June 30th. We go into July and August, and anything related to that revenue and expense, we have to book back anyway.
Sure.
So it's a moving target.
Okay. All right. We'll be a little clearer in July.
Yes.
Got it. Any questions for Josh, Ann?
Nope.
Okay. Anything else, Ann, for now?
No, that's it. That's it.
Do we want to do we need approvals on the line item transfers?
So there are this long list of just to review, which is 69,760.89. These are just to review. There is one very small one to approve. If you want to go past this, it is, and I'll bring it up right now. Not that you can see it, but let's see.
$229.
I thought we had a conversation about this. We gave a threshold
Yeah,
a year
I don't know
or
what
two
race.
ago where we said if it was under X,
Yeah.
we don't need to.
So the only reason that this was brought up was because it's a transfer between two capital project accounts. That's the only reason why this was brought in.
All right, that's fine. Okay. Okay.
So it's a transfer from the fire capital, which is the 2020 equipment tools, to the 2022 SCBA bottles. And like you said, it's for $229.20.
Motion to approve. Chris, second. Neil? Neil. Wow, this could be his last motion, and then I get for $229, I'm never gonna pay it. All right, all in favor of Neil's second? All right. Opposed? None? Okay, so moved, Josh.
All right, thank you.
Anything else?
That's it from me.
All right, thank you all. Okay, and okay, that takes us to real estate. Hey, Tucker, we ready to I need to invite a couple people in.
We have to move to go to executive.
Yeah, we gotta move.
Yeah, we-
Well, don't I have to invite them first? Yes. I'm gonna invite Tiger, I'm gonna invite Steve and
And
Tucker
Ian.
and
Hey, Josh.
don't you think we need to add Ann and Josh? Yeah. Okay, and then we have Michael and Bob on, but that's it. Okay, so those are invited into executive session. Okay, so a motion to move into executive session to discuss the real estate negotiation. Neil. quick move. Second. All right, Tom.
You want to announce that you will come out of executive session and vote.
Yes, we will have our discussion, do the analysis, and then we will then come back out and vote on.
The 750 last time, were you able to accomplish what you wanted to? Whatever that might have been. Remember the urgency of, oh, come on, you gotta get us. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we're underway with the architect.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted.
That was terrible.
Got it.
We should probably ask that question just to
So just to
be good.
rephrase the question, we had made that appropriation in the last meeting.
Yeah, so at the last meeting, what we did was we had released monies from what I'll loosely refer to as the reserve account, the capital reserve for the theater, to make sure that we could start the process of getting some of the town responsible refurbishment things underway. And so Tiger just reported that in fact, all of that happened as hoped and expected. So that's all good news.
Okay. Okay, line items, agenda items number 7 and 8. So let me just update everybody as to where we are. We're going to put together a resolution now in accordance with a Board of Selectmen recommendation regarding the both the use of ARPA funds as well as a bond authorization to provide $1.6 million for the Playhouse. So what we'd like to do is move on $1.6 million. 1 million of it, originally we had thought of using $600,000 of debt and $1 million of ARPA funds. We're going to flip that. We're going to use less ARPA funds. So we're going to return $400,000 back to the ARPA committee to use, and we're going to take the debt up from 600 to 1 million. So now the $1.6 million in the resolution here is to put $1.6 million to the Playhouse, a $1 million bond authorization, $600,000 to be used from the ARPA funds as recommended by the Board of Selectmen today.
And I think
Comments?
Judy has to read the
Yeah.
bond resolution.
Okay,
Why don't you do them separately? ARPA
yeah.
first and then the bond
all
resolution.
right.
I thought I did a pretty good job.
But we haven't included here the amount on number 7. Do you want to?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you ought to say
600,000.
that.
Yes.
I mean, shouldn't we say that?
Yes.
All
Yep,
right.
600,000.
As long as we all understand.
Motion to approve ARPA funds, $600,000 first.
You want to take it first? So do you want to read that?
You want me-
That's what you're recommending, Kevin? Yeah, read number 7 and the dollar amount is $600,000 from ARPA.
Yeah. American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA appropriation, review and approve. Board of Selectmen recommendation for appropriation of 600,000 ARPA funds for necessary repair and upgrades to the New Canaan Playhouse.
Okay, a motion?
So moved.
Tom, second?
I'll second.
Colm, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Okay, so moved. And now we have the second piece, which is the $1 million bond appropriation.
Tucker, do we need to approve this each person or can we just vote? It's okay. All right. All right, number 8, project appropriation and bond authorization, approval of the following project appropriation and bond authorization. Resolution authorizing an appropriation of 1,600,000.
No.
1 million.
Oh, are we using? Okay.
600
all
we
right,
already did.
all right,
It's just a million.
okay. 1 million for the Playhouse Theater 2022 project and the financing of said appropriation by the issuance of general obligation bonds of the town and notes in anticipation of such bonds in an amount not to exceed $1 million.
Motion? Come on, Neil.
Moved.
Oh,
Victor.
Second.
Victor, Neil, second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, well, this committee supports a movie theater. All right,
We
Good.
always did.
over
It
to
was
you,
just getting it
town
right.
council. Well done, everybody.
Yeah.
Good work. And again, Michael Chen, thank you so much. A
Thank
lot
you,
of hard
Michael.
work.
Great job.
Thank you,
A
Michael.
lot of great work there to help us out.
Well
I'm
done.
advocate on behalf of the town. Thank you, Mr. Selectman, too.
Oh, yeah.
That was the
This
last
is a
item.
lot of work.
It's great, isn't it?
This is a lot of work. Give credit.
Tucker, was any other items on our agenda? That was the last one? Okay.
All right.
So we are-
Well, that wraps up another fiscal year. We'll get the final accounting at maybe July, likely August. And then I'll keep you all apprised of next steps with regards to the prior meeting, WPCA. So with that, I'll say thank you again, Neil. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything. And motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Real second. Second.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Excellent.
Opposed? None. Thank you.